Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Shane, Lindsey, and I are back. This week we've got Sue from Survivor 47 here to recap Survivor 50, Episode 4. Sue, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be back. This is exciting.
Yeah. I'm so excited to talk about Survivor 50, Episode 4 with you and talk about Genevieve, what you think about Genevieve playing again. And it's gonna be crazy. So
I can't wait to jump in.
Yeah. So to kick it off, I mean, what are your guys' impressions of this episode? Sue, I'll let you go first.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I have to say, after being on Survivor, it was hard to watch. I watched it and I love the show. I'll always watch the show, but I really, in a way, didn't focus anymore. I don't know why. You do, but you don't. This season has got me captivated. I am just in love with this season. They're all just amazing players, so smart and intelligent. I'm like, man, if I could only play the game the way they play it. But I'm thrilled to death. And this season was just epic. This episode was just epic. Crazy.
Yeah, this season has just been epic in general. So it's been amazing to just like go through and from week to week just feel that feeling again for
Survivor. Oh yeah, I love it. Like I feel like the energy inside me, and like I text Genevieve always after every episode, and I'm like, "You're the queen." You're so, like, I'm so proud of Genevieve, and like I keep telling her that every time they show her on the screen, I'm not seeing anything else but Genevieve. I'm right. Like I say, I look at her dimples, I look at her smile, I look like she seems so happy, right? There's something about watching her this season. She's really soaking it in and she is just rolling with it. She's not afraid to show how smart she really is and that she's playing a game. So I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, because I mean, we Survivor 47, it took a few episodes for us to get more Genevieve. Yeah. And then she like became a breakout star like by episode 4. So.
Oh, yeah. And in her first, 47, I think she really was afraid to let any of us in for a long time. And I think that really made a difference in her game and, her relationships with all of us. So the fact that now she's just running all in with this, I'm just so proud of her because I think that's where she's showing us who she really is right now, which is huge. It's, she's not being cautious or holding her ground. She's just like showing this is exactly who I am, and I'm really, really proud of her.
Yeah, for sure. Shane, what about your impressions on this episode?
Yeah, I liked it. Maybe more than most. There's some things that could have been better. So, like for me, I really like the strategy, and I feel like we're not getting as much strategy as I would have hoped in this episode. A lot of it was because of our special guest, Zac Brown, which I didn't mind it. Because for me, like, especially with season 50, when Jeff is like, oh, this is a celebration of like, all that Survivor is, like, it's been 26 years now. And like Survivor has had like such a transcendent, through society. And it for me, it was nice to see like us as super fans, like we're represented on the show with people like Rizzo and a lot of these new era players. But now you have like real celebrities that truly seem like a fan, like, everything with Zac Brown, like you could kind of see he was really into it. And like it wasn't like with Billie Eilish where she's nowhere to be found. Like who knows if she even came up with that idol, her name's just on it. But like Zac Brown was like really into it. And just to show like the power that the show has had over that's the part I liked about this.
Do you know what? I hate to keep jumping in, but what I thought was so beautiful was watching him underwater. The scene underwater, right? Was that like he should be so proud of himself because this is what he does and this is what the edit showed, and it was just magical and one of the most beautiful scenes that I think they could ever put out there. It was just breathtaking to me.
Yeah. The underwater scenes of just people fishing in general. I mean, we've seen Ozzy do it, for example, over the course of his seasons, and I think it's always fun to watch people underwater with the spear. So we'll get to that with Zac Brown, I'm sure. Lindsey, your impressions of the episode.
Yeah, I'm going to agree that I did love that epic scene, Sue. Like, one of my favorite things about earlier seasons of Survivor were the location changes and getting to see them up close and beautiful. So it's also nice to see Fiji from underwater at different points of view. So very much enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I'm not a Zac Brown hater. I just would have shortened it slightly just because the girlies are fighting. I wanted to watch more of that on the tribes.
We want drama. We want drama.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Lindsey. I think for me, and we can talk about this more when we get to Zac Brown, but I do think I wish we got more from the players. Like, I want to make the players the focus. So if we could have shortened the Zac Brown stuff a little bit, I think that would have been better. But I'll get to more of my thoughts, like the positives of Zac Brown being there when we get there, because I don't think it was all negative at all.
Yeah, but to that point, I do think, like, at least based on how the season's been edited so far, if Zac Brown's not there, they're not actually going to show us much more strategy. They're going to put in things like the talent show or Christian having accidents, like things like that don't really advance things. So I did like the talent show. I thought that was a good moment.
That talent show was good.
You know what? Because they're super players, right? These are the top of the top, and we are all thriving to see all of their brains ticking the whole time, right? So that's adding on to what you're saying.
Yeah,
100%. Well, let's get into the episode itself. So post-tribal, after Q has been voted out, so we have Ozzy coming back and saying he really wants Angelina gone. That's going to carry through the whole rest of this episode, that Ozzy has a mission to get Angelina out of the game. And then we have Stephanie looking for a new foothold in the tribe. And it's always interesting with Stephanie after going to a tribal council here, because Stephanie has been to so many in her Survivor career. She obviously famously was the last member of Ulan. I mean, I'm excited to watch Stephanie more. I wish we would have gotten a little more airtime, but now, like, I feel like her story is definitely relevant now that she's been going to tribal after tribal.
Jake, can I ask you what all of you, what did you think about Ozzy being so attached to Mike? Like, what is that all about?
So I believe Mike and Ozzy, like, they work together. I don't think it was White Lotus, but I think it was like something where Mike visited Ozzy's restaurant. I think he talked about this in Exit Press today. So I think that's what it was. And I think Ozzy is, like, when he becomes attached to people, I think that's who he wants to work with. Like, and I think he's proven that every time he's played.
Yeah. So he's pretty loyal to the people he wants to be loyal to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
He's loyal to a fault. He takes it personally, which I can understand that a little bit. Like, it's a game, but how could you not, like, have the emotional stuff hit you? Like, Sue, you were out there for your full season. We watched you get to the end. Like, you can probably understand that more than anybody.
Yeah. And you know, when you and already, you know, they're already getting, you know, they're, you know, food deprived, sleep deprived. They're being run down. This challenge that we had, this last episode, that's all I think about is what that does to you physically. You're going all in. And even Mike said, I pulled out like 2 sandbags and I had nothing left. Like, no one understands, like, what you're putting out there when you've got to do this. And then you've got the whole mental aspect of it. And you do cling to the people that you feel are home for you while you're there. And you know, so that's why I could see why I didn't understand exactly what was going on and why he wanted to separate him from Angelina so much, if he felt like she was, like, staying in between them, or, you know, whatever it was. But, you know, I found that whole aspect very interesting, you know, the Ozzy, Mike, Angelina trio.
Yeah. I think Ozzy with Angelina, I think he sees her as, like, a strategist, and as opposed to Cirie, where he's played with Cirie and he knows her game more and they have a relationship. He doesn't have a relationship with Angelina, and like, he sees her as dangerous to him.
Right. I agree. It's nice to see him playing, you know, the way he was playing, I thought.
For sure. So let's get to, as we mentioned, the talent show on the Sela tribe. So we get Rizzo doing a Mickey Mouse impression. We get Rick Devens failing at juggling. And we get Charlie and Jonathan pretending to fight each other. And Jonathan does a wrestling finisher on Charlie. So,
oh my God. That was insane.
It was realistic, at least, because Jonathan would be able to pin Charlie and, like,
oh my God, Jonathan's such a beast, right, Rafa? Jonathan's such a beast. It's insane. Like, I just watch him, I'm just like, oh my God, this guy, he's like superhuman. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'd be scared.
Yeah, and I find, you know what, I feel like, you know, when I watch people do talent shows and funny things like that, I wonder, like, why. Like, on my season, we didn't ever do anything like that. We played games, but we never did anything during the day that was fun and goofy like that. And it's interesting to see how these older players, that come in and they just are enjoying this, right, too. So it's sort of fun.
Agreed. Sue, would you want to be a judge and see all the talents, or do you have a talent you'd like to show the audience?
I'd be a judge. I have no talent. Unless Jonathan wanted to crack me in half or something, but yeah, I would definitely be. I think I'm safer to be a judge.
The thing that was interesting to me though is like I assume they have like rules on the show that like you can't do physical contact or you're removed, although I assume that was consensual. But if you want to be like really like cutthroat, if you're Charlie, like don't tell Jonathan to do that, but like hint at it and then be like producers, he just did this to me, like he needs to leave the game.
Yeah, get him out.
And you're diabolical.
Yeah, imagine. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, that's I don't think there's rules. You don't harm each other, but like that, there's no rules. You just do whatever. They were cute. It was cute to see a little fun thing, but again, I think we are all so much looking for the drama and the wheels churning at all times, like with Charlie in the background with Rizzo, right? Like I'm liking that, and I'm liking how Charlie picked that up. And to me, that's something that I'm waiting for the time that something's going to happen with that.
Yeah. Well, so to that point, Charlie channels Liz Wilcox with being pissed about Rizzo. So
cute. She must be so happy that he said her name.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure. So that happens at Sela. We go to Kahlo and we continue the Aubry versus Genevieve feud with Aubry saying Genevieve's like Ricola, calling her name. I mean, what are your thoughts, Sue, on Genevieve and Aubry feuding?
I think they're two very, very brilliant people that are probably very similar. And I think that there's going to be a butting of heads, and it's always going to be butting of heads. And they both are threatened by each other, and neither are going to back down. So I think Genevieve, it sort of sounded like a little wise ass being like, "Oh, Aubry, we're looking for you." Like that was intentional, sort of to dig under Aubry's skin a little. So I'm sure Genevieve's getting on Aubry's nerves, and I'm sure Aubry has already gotten under Genevieve's nerves. So this is a fun thing to watch, and watching Aubry make those faces. Oh my God, that was hysterical. I was just like, oh my God, these two really don't like each other.
It's so funny.
It is.
It's clearly one of like, if not the major storyline of the season. So I feel like soon we're due for a payout, whether it's Aubry gets out Genevieve because Aubry's like the underdog and that's like her underdog story to gain power, or Genevieve just gets rid of the person everyone wants to get rid of, but you can't get rid of her, and then Genevieve's the top dog and either runs it to the end or sniped.
I'm excited to see what's going to come of these two, because there's a battle going on, and this is not. So here's the thing. We're only seeing, 3 minutes, a minute, 30 seconds maybe of what's going on. They're living this. This is something that they're living, and the edits can only show so much. So I can't even imagine what was going on all of this time. And then, this is the edit that they show. But, obviously they didn't just come in and say, oh, I don't like you, you don't like me. There's probably been stuff going on this whole time that they're together. They made each other in the same tribe swap again. So like they couldn't even get a break from each other, right? So I'm sure that there is a lot that's going on that nobody even knows about to bring them to this breaking point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and we're not able to see it.
Yeah. It would have been nice to show it, but unfortunately, it's not what they went with.
Yeah.
Lindsey, any thoughts on this feud?
I apologize. I'm refocusing a little bit. I don't know if you can tell in the background, but the third time this month, my power has gone out. Yay, Texas Power Grid.
Oh no!
So I can hear you, I can see you, but our lights went off while we were having this conversation.
Oh no!
So I'm refocusing.
Oh, you were dark in the background, but I was almost going to say, I think your background light went out or something. But
yeah, no, it's the whole power of my house. It's gone now.
Oh.
I probably come back on while we're talking. Texas Power Grid problems.
Jeez.
But as far as Aubry and Genevieve, the girlies are fighting, and one of them is going to get the upper hand. And it's hard because I want to cheer for both of them, right? Same thing with our other people that are feuding throughout this whole episode. There's no one that I want to cheer against. If I was Aubry and whether I was actually having stomach issues or if I just wanted space from the tribe or if I'm looking for an idol, I don't want Genevieve saying like Aubry in the back of my mind, you know, like
100%.
It's funny from Genevieve, like could love that play from her.
Yeah.
But Aubry don't want that.
Right. Well, just so everybody knows, I'm Team Genevieve. So I'm Genevieve.
That's fair.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So then we are also going to get Genevieve finding the second Boomerang idol, and she's going to send it to Riz God, which made me really excited that Rizzo has another idol. We saw what he did with the idols last season. I think we're going to get some really fun shenanigans again from Rizzo.
I think it's going to be very, he is so fun to watch. I don't know if I would want to be on an island with him. He might drive me cuckoo, but like he's fun to watch. He's very fun. Like 24/7 of Riz God is a little bit too much for me, for my taste, but I think he's hysterical and he's got balls. So he's just going to go all out. Same thing. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do.
Yeah. For me, I thought Genevieve's decision making in sending the idol to him was a bit short-sighted, and like I don't know that this is the best move for her, and it's maybe going to come back to bite her, because she said, you know, oh, I want to send it to him because he trusts me, we're allies, but I want to blindside him.
Yeah.
I'm like,
she wants it back. She wants it back.
You can get the idol back, but now you've burned an ally if you do that. And I personally think having relationships and allies is more useful in the game than having, you know, these superficial tools like an idol that can save you one round maybe. But also, like, let's say she does that, she has other relationships, gets the idol back. You've made a big move, you've cut an ally. What does that say about you to your other allies? And like, will you be able to have longevity in the game? So that's where I'm like a little worried for her based on that decision.
Well, my thought process is I don't think they're allies. I think she's doing this in good faith to get an ally and to she's not going to tell anybody. So I think, in my opinion, what I'm feel like I'm seeing is that she did this. I don't think she knows him, other than watching him last season. I mean, because they weren't on the first tribe together, right? Oh, your power's back?
I did it for a little bit. We went out.
It flickered.
Oh, wait, was Rizzo on her tribe the first round, right?
Yeah. So he was on the bottom of it, but once Kyle went and she was really close with Kyle, like they kind of brought him in to replace Kyle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I think she's overthinking more of, I'm going to draw him in and he's going to be, probably it's more important for her to get an idol than it is to have him as an ally, because I think even in the beginning, wasn't he annoying Colby, or he was like, people were not, and that was only day 3 and 4 and 5 maybe. So, you know, I think she's hoping he's going to be the early vote and get it back. That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think she should give it to?
That was going to be my question. Like, who should she give it to? Because I was feeling a little bit bad for her. Same with Jonathan from 42. Almost everybody else in the new era is connected somehow. Genevieve is not. She's starting over.
Yeah.
So, like, who would she give it to?
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering if it's someone like in one of the surrounding seasons, because there are so many still in from like the last seasons or seasons surrounding 47. So I'm wondering if Genevieve could have gone with one of them. Maybe she's met some of them recently before this. I don't know, but I'm not sure, because obviously, you know, you guys were still very close to in relation to filming 50. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like you've got to think who's going to be the biggest target, the people that are going to want to blindside and take out and give it to them, and hopefully they don't realize it and don't play it, and then you get it back. My whole thought process would be, I got to think of who is going to be the biggest, you know, person that they're going to all want to take out, so it comes back to me, and that's what I would do.
Yeah, I remember the first one when she gave it to Ozzy, she was debating between Jonathan, and I think Jonathan would have been a good choice here, because like her, he is unconnected in terms of not having played with anyone, so she could do that to like build a bridge.
Yeah.
But also, like she had mentioned, she thought he, is definitely susceptible to a blind side and susceptible to not playing that idol and having it bounce back. So it's like, if that happens, great, I get the idol back. Otherwise, like maybe I get a new ally.
Yeah. But they could be eliminated before they even merge too, right? So like you never know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an interesting, fun problem to actually have, right?
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is the whole boomerang twist could go bye-bye if this whole Aubry and Genevieve feud goes in Aubry's direction. Because if Aubry plays her idol, that gets rid of that one. And let's say she knocks out Genevieve, now the other two don't have anyone to go back to.
Exactly.
Oh.
And then there's like go back in the woods and people can start hunting them down again, maybe. Right?
Yeah. So let's get to the immunity challenge real quick, and then we'll get to Zac Brown. But they have to retrieve the buckets, push the heavy boat, and solve the letter bridge. So they did this in 46, for example. And I think, but like they also have had the heavy boats. They haven't done that in a while, and I feel like that's one of the most physical challenges we've seen on Survivor in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Vatu tribe was so disadvantaged in this challenge because they literally got rid of one of their strongest players in Q. Yeah. So this ended up being a bad idea.
Yeah, that was really tough to watch, but I have to tell you, like when we had our boat and they all sunk or capsized or whatever. And the one thing we did when we got it up on the sand, we flipped it to get the water out. And I knew they flipped it in the water to get the sandbags out, but I don't know if they did it again on the sand because that made a huge difference. And I think that's what put my tribe, up in front more because we were able to think somebody thought about flipping it one more time to get the water out. And that made a big difference. But they're heavy. These boats are freaking heavy. And they had such a long way to push it. And underneath that net too, I was dying for them. I can't imagine how depleted they felt after that.
Yeah, it's very taxing, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then with that arch, trying to you had to be tall to hold. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine how their arms were burning just standing there holding blocks. I mean, we know these challenges take much longer than what the edit shows. Right. So it's torturous. It's torturous.
Yeah. Shane, Lindsey.
They were hardly anyone tall enough to hold up the puzzle at the end. Like that had to be so physically demanding. And I just know myself, I'm fairly tall for a woman. I'm 5'5". I have long arms. I don't know how long I could do that. I know. And a lot of these women are shorter than me on that season. Jonathan's barely doing this.
Yeah, he was having a hard time. Do you see Dee using her head, which was so smart? I think I would do that too. I'd be put it on my head. I'm 5'1", so I don't even know if it'd reach my head. But that had to be so difficult. Yeah. And I guarantee you they fell more than they even showed us. They can only show you so much, right? So I guarantee you they fell a lot.
I would have struggled with this.
Yes. I also really wanted to know what Jeff was expecting the tribe to do at the end. He's like, them crawling out of the net. Jeff, do you expect them to butt scoot way backwards out? Are they supposed to cut scissors and open the way from the net and emerge? Yeah. What are you expecting to happen next?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was tough one. That was a very tough challenge.
Yeah. The coming out of the net, it was people just coming out of the jungle or something. I don't know. That's what it reminded me of. Just people crawling out of the foliage or something.
Oh, yeah. Crazy. It was crazy. So good. So good.
Yeah. Shane, anything on the challenge specifically?
It was a challenge. What I will say is when I first saw that arch thing in, I forget what season, but it was Australian Survivor. I was really cool. I like that. So I'm glad they brought that here.
Yes.
And I was grateful we didn't have it on my season because it was on 46. And I remember for 45, I guess I didn't
46,
watch it.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I don't know how I'll be able to help them, other than the very first cube, so.
Right.
I'm so glad we didn't have it. I think it's a tough one. I think it's really, really tough.
Yeah, it's a good challenge. All right, it's time for a little bit of chicken fried because we're talking about Zac Brown. Jeff was so happy to once again get to start singing.
Oh my goodness. I guess that better than rapping, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys prefer, the rapping or the singing?
I guess I'll take the singing over the rapping.
Yeah, although I don't even know if I call it singing, because he was kind of like rap singing, because he was like talking the lyrics.
He's having fun. Jeff is having fun.
He was having fun. But can I have option 3? If I was on island, I just want the fried chicken, nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, give me the food.
I know.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Zac Brown comes out. You know, I get that he means a lot to some people. Like, I know my parents were really excited last night to see Zac Brown out there. They listen to his music. That's how I knew who Zac Brown was, because I grew up listening to their music. And so I get, like, some people are excited. I think my gripe with it is, like, they're taking away the airtime of people who got brought back. And I feel like I want to see more of, like, I want to see more of Tiffany. Like, Tiffany's here, and I feel like she doesn't get airtime. She has less confessionals than Zac Brown did. So like, I want to know what, like, her strategy, because she's also been shown wanting to get rid of Genevieve because with Aubry. So like, I want to see why.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely a lot. You know, I guess them bringing on these, you know, real celebrities or music singers, and, you know, whoever they're bringing on, it's definitely a change. But like you're saying, having it take away too much of the gameplay is too much, you know. But I guess maybe they're just so proud and honored to have the person there and really give them their time, you know, on Survivor, their favorite show. I guess, you know, they did right by them, if nothing else. But go ahead, Shane. I see you say something.
One of the things I was just going to say, like, that I like about Survivor when they went to different locations was they would have these rewards that would focus on, like, the culture, like going to the Great Wall of China, things like that. And they haven't had that ever since Fiji. And to me, this, like, sort of was like that, because it brought you in more to, like, a cultural aspect. And, like, especially like you were mentioning earlier, like showing him, like, with that scene in the water, like, I like that. It was just
beautiful.
Could have been less time spent on him.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Lindsey?
Yeah, like, Shane, now that you mention it, like, just, I believe it was also China as well. There was a reward where they teach you how to fish in a certain area. So if this is kind of the 2026 season 50 version of that, it does make me appreciate it a little bit more. Plus, the scenery is beautiful. But I just wish, like, maybe got half of the time that we got, so we get a little bit more time with the players.
I was impressed at how emotional Dee was, and to me, it makes you, like, for me, it made me think of what's my safe place, the songs that have, like, saved me in my life, because I think we can all relate to that. I feel like a lot of people, you know, you have songs or singers or music that's come to you at a time of need or a time of that you were struggling. And so I felt like it was a really beautiful thing for them to show Dee's vulnerability and her struggles that she's had, because you look at her like a powerhouse woman. She's had Survivor, the challenge, like, she's a beast and she's so solid, but she's still a human being with emotions, and, like, life isn't easy for anybody. We all have our stories. And the fact that it made her to become more open to and vulnerable and share how it affected her so much, and how it was there when she was struggling with her parents. Like, it brings back the humanness of the show, even though we're watching them as contestants and competitors, but they are human beings like every single one of us with these struggles. And so for me, that was a beautiful moment that I really enjoyed watching about Dee and her reaction to him.
Yeah, Sue, I think you've made an excellent point there, because am I a Zac Brown fan? Not really, but if I was there and I was on that island, I won that reward, I would be sitting there and thinking about spending summers at the lake with my dad and him loving that song, and it would rejuvenate me, right?
Yeah.
Like my dad's, like, there, you know? Like, you just feel that in the moment.
Yeah. Gives me goosebumps thinking about it, because this is how deep Survivor can touch people, right? Or one person, and what this music did for her in her whole life. Like, and so we can all relate in one way or the other. And that, to me, is a beautiful thing. And that, I feel like the audience should have hopefully connected with that as well, even though the other stuff was a little bit too long maybe and everything else. but when you bring that human element in from one of the players, to me, it just makes me love her even more.
Yeah. If I was out there, I'm sure being out there and listening to him play music, I'm sure I would have connected with it more there. It's a little bit harder when you're watching it on the TV screen.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure people really liked it. I would have liked also if some of the time they did show to involve the Survivor players, as if they had Zac Brown like asking about their seasons, being a huge fan.
Yes.
I think that would have worked better.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been really cool to have him being a fan, even though they're a fan of him, right? Like, yeah. Wait, we should all go on their show as producers and editors and call us for the next season.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it probably happened and they just didn't show it, because I would have been shocked if Zac Brown didn't like geek out about seeing like all these legends. Like, I mean, what, like Ozzy? Like, I mean,
Three. I mean, just everybody, all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And like Coach pretending to be like his best friend.
Yeah.
As soon as he like walked in, he was like, "What up, Zach?" I'm like,
I know. Oh my God.
But I definitely agree that like there's no way Zach wasn't like talking to them about this stuff. But I feel like, I don't know if I read this or not, but I feel like regardless, it's probably true. Is like Jeff is trying to like bring in a new audience here, and because it's season 50, you'll already get people to be like, oh, season on or show on 50 seasons, I'll watch that. But also bringing in these celebrities, you get their fans. So like if Zac Brown is just talking about Survivor, you might lose the Zac Brown fans. But if they're geeking over Zac Brown, then you have his fans like engaged. So that maybe is the thought process. I don't know. Like
that makes sense. That makes sense. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's a good strategy to like keep these new people there, but you'll bring them in and then maybe lose them again. But who knows?
And if nothing else, it's a huge, huge bonus for the people who won that challenge. So memories forever, right?
For sure. Well, let's get to the scramble now for Vatu. So we get Mike White ends up wanting to target Emily Flippin to save Angelina, knowing that she is probably on the chopping block before this. But Christian wants to save Emily, wanting to align with her and believing he needs to take Mike White out. And so plan gets set in motion. But we do have Emily also being super messy. So, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this entire scramble?
Want to slap her, right? Like, how funny was Christian when he's like, no.
Yeah.
He was so funny. I mean, I have to tell you, he is like, he's won my heart. I enjoy watching him so much. And he's not only is he funny and hysterical to watch his work, he just speaks well, he acts good, he's just intelligent, and he just cracks me up. I'm so much enjoying him on this show. So it's and he's just brilliant. And it's funny because when Mike White reminded him of him and Gabby, Gabby? I thought he would, in my mind, I'm just like, oh my God, he's going to be like, that's so right. Okay, let's do this. I can't trust Emily. And the fact that he's like, Mike White is dangerous. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, I would have never even looked at it that way. I would have been like, Mike's covering my ass, like, don't get blown over by another female, blah, blah, blah. And it was genius. It was genius what he did.
Yeah. Shane, Lindsey, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little worried for him because I think this move kind of solidifies that he's probably going to have what happened to him last time, where he's going to be a target and either be a boot right at the merge, or he will, have what happened last time where he survives by, with some idols and stuff, and then they get him as soon as they can. I think he should have just gone with the plan to get out Angelina. But by doing this Mike White thing, engineering a 3-2-1 vote, I mean, it just seems like he saw an opportunity and was like, oh, well, Sari did it. This is an epic season. Like, that's a great strategy. Let's do a 3-2-1. And unfortunately, it might backfire on him in the game. That remains to be seen. But I think from what I've heard in Exit Press, it backfired on his personal relationships because Mike White said they haven't spoken since.
Yeah. No.
Said she hasn't really spoken to him. So it just seems like to me, my interpretation is he's playing too much for like the character moments, trying to get screen time and like not being authentically himself as much. And like now he's maybe losing relationships, which is not great.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I think Christian honestly might have made a bad move here, because I think had the 3 David versus Goliaths been able to hold control for a little bit longer, I think they're in a very good position. I think Christian's being set up to have the Gabby thing happen to him again. Although back then, like, Gabby wasn't able to get him out, but in this situation, I think the Gabby that Emily flippin is going to take him out. So
do you think so? See, I'm wondering too, but again, if it went the other way, they would have broken up the David and Goliath, because it was Mike White and Angelina. Right. So now he's got Mike White pissed at him. So either way, he was screwed. So I think he had to be, either you got Ozzy mad at you, and he wanted to keep Emily. I think he trusts his relationship with Emily more than anybody else, right? So, I mean, he either pisses off Ozzy and hopes he can mend it, or pisses off Mike White, which honestly, as much as I don't think Ozzy's going to forgive him, I think Mike White is definitely not going to forgive him if they burn Emily. So, like, he had 2 options, and he chose the one that was best for him to keep Emily.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a tough situation. I'm surprised Emily wasn't getting blowback like at the last tribal council, and now like she was finally getting some. So I do think she has to play a little bit smarter, or she is going to shoot herself in the foot.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think she's going to shoot herself in the foot. I think she just can't help her mouth, right?
Yeah, she's too honest, I think.
Yeah, and doesn't stop, right? Like, what did you guys think when as soon as Ozzy walked up and she's like, come here, and I'm just like, what's she doing? He just said, don't say anything. Like, I was so shocked that she did that.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, because I was honestly at that point kind of shocked Ozzy was left out of the vote, because I thought then like Emily had basically like spilled everything and that was gonna blow something up, but Ozzy didn't vote with them, so that was interesting.
That's gonna be bad. You saw the previews, right? He's angry.
Yeah, well,
I can't wait to see next week.
That's classic Ozzy. He gets angry when something doesn't go his way, and like I think that's the interesting part about Ozzy. And I figured that we'd probably get the Aussies like at some point in this season.
Yeah. Well, yeah, classic Aussie was on full display this episode, because they showed him fishing again. Yeah. They showed him getting mad. And the funny part is, like, the whole season before this, it seemed like he had changed, but he was with Sari. He loses Sari, and now he goes back to his old self. So, like, Sari is probably the one making him, like, be a sort of good player.
Yeah.
And goes back to his old self.
But also, he did a jump on Coach a little bit. So, like, he was toning it down a little. But again, he was blindsided. There's a difference between like being pissed off and angry at each other, but he was literally left out of a vote. And I think he has every right to be angry, in my opinion. I know I would be angry if I were left. I mean, I was angry when I was left out of a vote. So yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think like Ozzy was the perfect person for Christian to be able to pull a 3-2-1, because like when there's such small numbers with 6 people, like I feel like to have 2 different plans and you're left out of both of them, like that seems hard to do. Ozzy kind of is the one that could happen to. The other that it could happen to, and Sari called it brilliantly in season 12 with Shane Powers. Like she could get him left out. And like Ozzy kind of in the same boat.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. By the way, as we finish this up, I wanted to apologize. Lindsey's power completely went out, including her internet. So.
Sorry, Lindsey.
So I just wanted people to know.
Yeah, where'd she go?
Yeah. So let's get into the tribal council itself. So 3-2-1. Mike White is blindsided. I always find it fascinating when someone who makes it to the final tribal council their first time or any time they get voted out and they get their torch snuffed. Like that's such a surreal moment. And I know, Sue, you never got your torch snuffed. So.
Right. I know every time I watch people get theirs, I can't imagine how devastating that is. It's got to really suck. I can't imagine. So, and I feel bad for every single person. Like, you don't want this to happen. You know, you
Right.
like,
Right.
you love everybody. And in my brain, I don't know about you guys, we all know Jeff loves Mike White.
Yes.
So I can't imagine how difficult this was for Jeff to snuff Mike's torch.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you know he didn't like doing that.
No, I think it's like for anybody that Jeff has a really good friendship with. I mean, we know he's had difficulties snuffing Boston Rob's torch before, or Colby's in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's tough, and I think they are really. I don't know for sure, but I think they have such a good relationship that he's praying, Mike can make it further. But Mike is brilliant, though, right? Don't you think he's brilliant?
I think he's a very smart player. I think it's just like, I honestly think it's more than anything, it was the past relationships that got Mike here. And I think he, I don't know, underestimated how much Christian was willing to like cut him. And like, I think that's what did him in more than anything.
But again, Mike at Tribal was bragging that he uses the power of persuasion every day. He manipulates people every day. Like, who goes into tribal council saying that?
No, yeah, that was a bad decision by Mike.
I'm just like, what is he saying? Why is he like, just you don't even though everybody probably knows it, you don't say it, you don't speak it, those words, and put it out there. So it was all the more reason to be like, he's got to go. And I would be like, he's got to go if no matter what, if I had heard that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that, like, the first time Mike played, I didn't really pick up on it as much, but this time I really did, and he kind of talked about it. But I think it's a brilliant aspect of his game is, like, he comes off as so unassuming that, like, they're like, oh, this guy's not a threat, he's just this, like, goofy guy, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's very strategic. He knows the game extremely well, and he's always thinking, but he, like, is actively trying to make himself more unassuming so that you don't see him as this threat. And that's something like I connect with a lot, and I think is like a really brilliant aspect of his game.
Yeah. You do, right, Jake? You look at him and you're just like, he's just like a little tiny nothing in a way, but I think he's the loudest and the most, the vibes from him, they just glow out of them. Like you just know that he's powerful. Like, he's powerful. And the way he speaks is like with authority, even though he's trying not to. But when he was talking to Christian, he point blank, like, jammed it in him, like, oof. Right. I was just like, this man is no bullshit. Yeah.
It's funny with that, and like the fact, like, nobody assumed Mike White had abs at the beginning of the season, and then he's
got those cute little abs.
So so 3, 2, 1, Mike White is gone, and that means Lindsey has lost her first draft member. So
no,
Shane and I get to escape this week without any casualties. So
nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, let's go. Favorite player of the episode. I am gonna go with the man, the myth, the legend, RIZGOD, the Riz God, baby, because I love that he has an idol right now, and I think we're gonna finally get set up after like the Rizzo being annoying show to Rizzo's now set up to do some damage and show why he's on this season. So I'm really excited.
I think it is. Me too. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Shane?
So Rizzo is definitely one of them. Honorable mention to Zac Brown. I'm going to go maybe unconventional. I'm going to say coach. Because he had a couple moments that are just funny where he's like, what up, Zach? Like, he's his best friend. And then a throwback to Survivor China, because he's like, oh yeah, in the South, which I didn't know he was from the South, but I looked it up.
Everyone's saying that they didn't know he's from Tennessee.
Yeah, I thought he was from, because his first time he was billed as being from St. Louis, because I guess he was working there, and now he's in California. But I looked it up. I guess he grew up in Tennessee, so he's from the South. But he's like, oh, as we say in the South, damn. Like,
yeah, I know.
A throwback to chicken from Survivor.
I was trying to think where you were going with that, and I was like, oh wow, we're getting a chicken reference.
Yeah. But also, coach, I feel like he's in a good spot in the game, and I'm a little surprised because I thought Coach was going to be the absolute star of the season. Like they'd give us a million confessionals, and they haven't. But like he's still like very present, and I think he's in a good spot. So
yeah.
Sue?
I'm going with D. She won me over this week with her vulnerability and showing us a different side of her that I think is maybe can be hard for her to do, and it's hard for anybody. But I feel like from what I watch of her and see of her, I don't know. I loved, fell in love with her. And she gave me goosebumps, telling her story of what the songs did for her. So to me, she had my heart this week.
Absolutely. Good picks. We'll get Lindsey's after her and just put
when she's out of the dark.
Yeah. All right. Last thing, predictions for week 5. Sue, what do you think is going to happen next week?
Unfortunately, I don't think that these guys are going to win any challenges with who they've got. Ozzy can only do so much. So
right.
It's going to be interesting to see. And I think, Ozzy, he's going to be hating everyone, and he might even go for Christian at this point. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's going to be all eyes on them. They're going to be the tribe that just loses every week until they have to merge everybody, because there's too many powerhouses on the other two tribes. And I don't see them pulling anything out. And they only have, I guess, they would be good with puzzles, but all of the tribes are good with puzzles. So wait, next week's a double elimination though, right?
Next week is double. So I have thoughts, but and anything else you have, Sue?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Shane?
So I think just based on the preview, like the Charlie and Rizzo tribe's gonna lose, and I think it's bad news for Charlie. Like
Really?
Yeah, I just because that storyline has also been set up like the Aubry Genevieve, but a little to a lesser degree. But it just, to me, everything from the editing and now Rizzo getting the idol, Rizzo's going to come out on top of that, and Charlie will go, I think. And I agree completely with you, Sue, that the other tribe that loses will be that Aussie Christian tribe. And I think anyone could be fair game there except Stephanie, because I think Aussie getting left out, he's going to throw a hissy fit. Like they might just go for him, and like they're losing anyway. And Emily wanted to go for him earlier on anyway. Right. Emily could be a target because she's being messy. Christian could be a target because of what he just did. And then Angelina was already a target, so she could be a target. Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I have bold prediction. I mean, I could definitely see Vatu winning because it's going to be hard to see them winning, but I could also see that somehow they manage to pull out a victory, and we get Kahlo and Sela both going to tribal, and we get double idol play. We get Rizzo idling out Charlie and Aubry idling out Genevieve.
Can you imagine?
A huge crushing blow on both sides.
That'd be insane. That'd be insane. I'm going to have to email you if that comes true. It'd be like, you got that number. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be sad putting that out in the universe, but
yeah, exactly.
I think both of those things are bound to happen, whether they happen next week or like in subsequent weeks.
Yeah.
I think Genevieve just seems like she's likely going to go, because they even had a confessional with Aubry being like, I have an idol, and last time I went out with it and didn't play it, that's not happening again. So I just think she's going to be the target, play it, and probably get rid of Genevieve at some point.
You're right. And because she already said nobody likes her, right?
Yeah.
So she doesn't feel comfortable. Yeah. You're right.
I don't think there's any way they could convince her that she's not the target. And especially just with what happened in her last game, I think she has too much baggage. Even if they convinced her she wasn't the target, she'd still play the idol.
Yeah.
I also think, like, because of Survivor 46, people aren't going to go home with the idols in their pockets if they can help it. So,
well, it'll be interesting to see what Rizzo does, because nobody saw what he did, and he, in my opinion, was masterful with that idol in 49.
Yeah,
he can do something like that again. Like, I think he's going to get Charlie out, but I don't even think he'll need the idol to do it. I think.
But didn't he share with his alliance that he had an idol? Like, if he opens up and tells people in one person that he has an idol, he's going to be done.
Yeah, I almost think he could share it with D next week, because they have a conversation, and maybe D is actually the one that is putting the Charlie plan out there, though. So
Okay, interesting.
I don't know.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a big week next week. But thank you so much, Sue, for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry Lindsey had to like pop out of here, but thank you for having me. This is always fun. I love coming on with you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. With that, we'll see you all next week for more Survivor 50 on the Tribe of Nerds.
Woo! Bye-bye.